Market panics, they just feel like pure chaos, right? But what if we could actually stop, take a moment of that raw, crypto-fueled panic and break it down? Let's deconstruct it and see what it can really teach us about the forces at play. And it always starts right here. Not with a chart, not with some headline, but with that pure, visceral shock. You can almost feel that moment, right? Checking the price and just, that gut punch. This isn't just data on a screen, it's a feeling. And almost immediately, that shock curdles into this deep personal regret. Suddenly, it's not just about money anymore, it's about your life. We're talking careers, huge life decisions, and that terrifying thought that maybe it was all a giant mistake. That's the human side of volatility. Okay, so that outburst, that's going to be our case study. Let's try to move past that initial wave of emotion and really dissect the specific anxieties that are fueling this whole meltdown. What are the actual pieces of this panic? See, it's never just one thing, is it? This reaction is really a perfect storm of three totally distinct fears. You've got poor performance, a crisis of faith in the whole purpose of it, and then this looming technological threat. We're going to tackle them one by one. All right, first up, the thing that kicks it all off, the cold, hard numbers. This is where the panic gets its real fuel, the actual, real-world performance of the investment. And there it is. That's the knife twist. It's not just that Bitcoin is down. It's that the quote-unquote boring, old-school stock market is up. That contrast, man, that's what makes the loss feel so much worse. It feels like you picked the completely wrong horse. And when you look at it like this, visually, you can really feel that pain point. I mean, that is not a small difference. It's an 18-point spread between what was supposed to be the high-tech future and, a classic index fund. This contrast makes that what am I doing question feel totally justified. So this leads to a really crucial question. If the numbers look like this, why was this person in Bitcoin in the first place? What was the original idea, the whole investment thesis that just got completely shattered? And that question, it takes us right to the philosophical heart of the panic. We're moving beyond just the numbers now. This is about a broken promise. This is a full-blown crisis of faith. Wow, you can just hear the sense of betrayal in that sentence, can't you? This one idea, this concept of a store of value, was probably the entire justification for taking the risk, maybe even for quitting that job. It was the bedrock of the whole thing, and right now, that bedrock feels like it's turned into quicksand. So, what are we even talking about when we say store of value? Well, put simply, it's something you can park your wealth in today and trust. Really trust that it'll hold its value or be worth even more down the line. Think gold or maybe even certain types of real estate. The whole point is stability and predictability. And this is the core conflict right here. On one hand, you've got this really powerful argument for Bitcoin. There's only so much of it, and it's not controlled by any government. But on the other hand, you have the gut-wrenching reality of these wild price swings and the fact that, it just hasn't been around that long. And that idea of an unproven track record, that leads us straight into the final layer of this panic. As if the numbers and the philosophy weren't enough to worry about, the fear spirals out into this complex, almost sci-fi technological threat. This is where the fear of the total unknown really takes over. And just like that, the mind leaps from a problem today to a total catastrophe in the future. This isn't about market swings anymore. This is about the entire system, the whole thing, being broken and made worthless by a technology most of us can barely even wrap our heads around. So the big question is, how real is this? Is this a legit, immediate concern? Or is it just a boogeyman that the mind grabs onto when it's already in a state of panic? Let's quickly and clearly unpack this whole quantum threat thing. Okay, so here's the theory in simple terms. Step 1. A quantum computer that's powerful enough could theoretically crack the encryption that keeps Bitcoin wallets safe. Step 2. That would expose your private key, basically the password to all your funds. And step 3, an attacker could just take it all. Laid out like that, it sounds terrifyingly simple. But, and this is a huge but, here's the critical context. First, these super powerful quantum computers, they don't actually exist yet.
Second, this isn't some surprise attack. The crypto community knows about this, and developers are already working hard on so-called quantum-resistant code. The idea is to basically change the locks on the network long before anyone can build a key that might be able to pick them.
So there you have it. We took this moment of just pure emotional chaos, and we actually found a clear structure inside of it. The panic wasn't just random noise. It was a painful but pretty logical progression. It went from the hard numbers to a shattered belief system and all the way to a fear of the distant future. And what this all really shows us is the unique psychological pressure cooker that is crypto. You're not just betting on a company to do well, you're betting on a brand new technology, a whole economic theory, and a future that really hasn't been written yet. And that, my friends, is an incredibly intense place to put your hopes and your money. Because in the end, after all the analysis, after all the deconstruction, we come right back to this: the raw human feeling. Because behind every chart, every debate, and every single line of code, there are real people making huge bets on their future. And sometimes it feels exactly like this.
Which leaves us with one last big question. When you're dealing with something so new and so volatile, this is the ultimate challenge, isn't it? How do you separate a real system-ending crisis from the brutal, but maybe just normal, ups and downs of a new technology trying to find its footing in the world? How do you ever know which one you're really in?